Hey everyone, I'm Ben.
And I'm Sam.
And this is Counterfeit Christianity. So we've had a lot of awesome conversations today with Cal as well. You've seen them. Oh, maybe the audio will be broken and we won't see it. But yeah, hopefully it works because they were really fun. What we want to talk about right now is like your intentions and what that means. Because we're talking about that idea of intention because we're saying like maybe or we shouldn't say certain words around God or anything like that. But it's like
we're talking about swearing. That's a good one, specifically.
Yeah.
Whether you're saying a swear word like you drop something, or whether you're cursing someone, saying, F you, screw you, you're garbage, you're filth. And I think what we've decided, we think is intention matters.
Yeah.
If you're saying something offhand, then it's just a word. It's just a word.
Yep.
But if you, no matter how rude it may be in certain circles, but like in particular, Australia has a affinity for the C word.
Yeah.
And it's often used as a term of affection. But you say it overseas, and
they'll start a fight. Like another example of that is in Thailand. They get offended by words like, if you call someone a buffalo, that's like fighting words and they'll kill you for it. But it's like
buffalo. You're right.
But like if you call them that's the worst offense ever, and they will literally shoot you over it. So
Really?
It's like a lot of cultures take offense to words.
In Russia, it's skatina.
Yeah, what's that
Say the
mean?
word skatina, it means a cow chomping. Like you know how a cow chews its cud?
Yeah.
It means you're really dumb. It's like
Yep.
you are skatina.
Yeah.
I remember I used to work for these Russians a long time ago, and the mother, the father, the son, and the business partner were all there in the room, and actually, sorry, the son was not there.
Yeah.
The mother and the father and the other business partner were there. Yuri, Andrew, and Larissa. I still have the
You
accent.
say it like them, yeah.
Yuri.
Yeah, it's the same as me with Thai. You got to say it the right way. You're not
Yuri's
saying
the business partner. Me and Yuri are sitting there looking at each other going, wow, these people are crazy, because the husband was sitting down, the wife came in, and they were talking about the son. The son was the other business partner who I didn't really get along with. And the mother was mewling at the father, you have to involve Nicky. Nicky needs more. And then he's like, no, we send him away. The guy useless. He just caused problem. He's Skatina.
Yeah.
And then she's, oh, you got my son Skatina. And she ran at him, started bashing him like this in his chest, like you see in the movies. Like, she's not very strong. And then she ran out the door, went that way, like doing the craziness. And then she came back in, admonished him some more, hit him some more. No, Skatina, he's our son. He's our Nicky. And then she came out and she ran the other way and she came back. Me and Yuri are sitting there going,
what the heck?
oh my God. And so, going back to the topic, Skatina means a lot in some languages.
Yeah.
And I guess it's not the word, is it? It's the intention.
Yeah.
Because the intention was I have no respect for our son, he's worthless, etc., etc. It's not calling him a cow.
Yeah.
It's the intention, the implication behind it.
Yeah, so what we mean by the intention, we talked about the church before. The church looks at how you look, the things that you do, the things that you say as the most important thing, because they don't care about the intention. It's just what it looks like.
Or they want to hide their intentions.
Yeah, because they have evil intentions.
A veneer of good.
Yeah, because most of the time, from our experience, pastors, really churchy, religious people have evil intentions.
Yeah, I mean, they'll go out of the way, make sure they never sound bad, or they never swear. If you swear, oh, did you say bitch?
Yep.
You're a sinner. It's like,
did you say the Bible's shit?
The Bible is a piece of wood that's worshipped by people.
Yeah.
I mean, it has value in it, obviously.
Yeah.
It's not a God in itself. The way they hide their intent behind nice-seeming words, I think God hates.
Yeah.
I've always had a saying to myself is that I would rather have a foul mouth and a good heart than have a good-sounding mouth with a foul heart behind it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because at least if you have a slightly foul mouth, you're being more honest, right?
Well,
It's contextual too. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're around your grandma, you're probably not going to say the C word.
Yeah.
But if you're around your mates and, it's just an offhand thing, it's just part of our culture, I think.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I think people they misunderstand about God, because they put
Well, God's not about the showiness, right?
No.
God cares about what's in your heart and how you care about other people.
Yeah, it's the Christians, the religious people, the churchies. They're the ones that put the box around God and say, you can't say this to him, you can't be this way, you can't be yourself, you have to pretend. And so it's like, but with God, it's the exact opposite. You can say anything, be yourself, and he sees your heart, he sees your intention, and he will never hold anything against you.
Well, if anything, it's sort of in the moment with God. How are you feeling? What are you saying? And then you can talk to God and say, well, I sort of feel like this.
Yeah, and as we do with each other.
You know, and then you get feedback and go, well, maybe I shouldn't be that way. Maybe I shouldn't feel that way. Where are you leading me here, God?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and that's why we sort of, you and I talked about specific people in our lives who we thought were one way, but then they actually react as they have a sacred cow in their life that if we bump up against, then they will hate you for it, and that's what happens.
And then I guess you wonder how much of them is a veneer in the first place.
Yeah.
Some people become, we talked a lot about human beings versus human doings. I guess it's the same thing.
Yep.
They become like a human pretending.
Yep.
And then I think that actually becomes who they are.
Yeah.
And they don't even know what their own intentions are anymore.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that.
Because I'm always analysing my intentions. Why am I doing something? You might be doing something that appears nice. What's your intention? Why are you doing it? Are you doing it to look good? Are you doing it to help someone, which is something good? Are you doing it because you feel like God wants you to do that? Like, what is your motivation?
Yeah.
So even if you do something really nice or really good, God looks at why you did it, and that actually matters to Him more. You know?
Yeah, and so I think that may be the differentiation between like certain people. Like if you are always like weighing up the things that you do in your life and the things that you're thinking and trying to find out why.
Yeah, that's true. I always care about why I'm doing something, and I think we can have intentions that we mask. We lie to ourselves a lot, and that's why you have to question your heart and you go, oh yeah, I'm doing this because of this. It's like, are you really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Test yourself. Are you really?
Yeah.
Is that really why you're doing it?
Yeah.
And then it's not about, I think people try to hide from it because they see their own bad intention and try and bury it. I'm bad, I'll bury it. The way I fix it is I bury it and I keep pretending to be good. No. You have to let that out. You have to feel it. You have to experience it. You gotta let the bull out of the cage and you go, this is my bad intention. I have a bad intention.
Yeah.
Why do I have this bad intention? Where does it go? Is that really what I want? And that's how you change your heart and you change your mind, because you go, well, I shouldn't be thinking that way because that's not really how I feel. Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Is it because I'm insecure? Is it because, there could be a litany of reasons why you're doing something that doesn't have the right intention. But if it's not about having the wrong intention in the first place though, which is where people get scared and want to hide from it. It's about being honest with yourself, letting that intention come out, and then choosing where you then decide to go, who you decide to be.
Yeah, that's interesting because I'm thinking about how do we get to where we are, where we can be absolutely real with ourselves, first of all, and then how do we be absolutely real with God, and then how do we do it with other people? So it's like, what I sort of came to is like, the reason that it's easier for us, it's because we've decided to throw away that facade of being something else. And
we don't have anything to lose, do we? I mean, we're not in society pretending. We're not being a human pretending.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people already hate us and go, oh, those guys are crazy, or Christians hate us. I think we're heretics.
Or the world will call us toxic masculine men.
Or that too. But we just have to be ourselves in the face of that and not let any of that dictate who we decide to be, because that's a problem too.
Yeah.
You get distorted messages from the world that impacts your identity, and I think your intentions stem from your identity.
Yeah. And if you can't be okay with yourself, first of all, and then real with yourself, second of all, then real with God, and then have some other people around you who you can say anything to and be your true self with, then it's so hard.
Yeah, well, you can't even
to
know
get
your
out of
own
that.
intentions,
No.
right?
Like in a church, in a regular institutional church, there's no space to be real. There's no space to have that trueness come out, because it's all about the facade. And so therefore they teach you that that's the way God is, because that's the way they are. But we know that that's not the way God is, so we understand, okay, I'm okay to be real, and I'm okay to be real with God, and I'm okay to be real with the people around me. And then when we are that way with other people, they hate us for it. And so I've bumped up against that quite often. It's because
people are sort of scared too when you're genuine, because they're like, oh wow, he's being so real, and it threatens them because they get insecure, and that's why they attack you, not because they even hate it, but because they see it and it makes them uncomfortable because it's different.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so raw and so real. He's not even pretending. He didn't even ask me how the weather is. Like,
it's like smashing the world system just by being real.
It does upset people.
Yeah.
It's jarring, I think, for them.
Yeah. And that's what I guess it's probably going to be a short conversation today, but I like the idea of being your true self with God. And it's like, there's nothing that you can say that will offend him, because he sees your heart. And that's the thing. It's like, it's your intention. I used the example before of my son. If my son came up to me and he said, "Oh, you're a cunt, Dad," and he was joking and I knew his intent, I would be like, whatever. But if he came up and said the same thing to me with trying to hurt me purposefully, then that would.
Because the intent is
yeah.
there.
But if he said anything, if he said a good thing in a way to hurt me, that would also hurt me.
Yeah, because
I feel his heart.
And you know him well enough
Yeah.
to always understand his intent.
Yeah, and if that's the way I am with my son, how much more is God that way with us? That's the way I see it, and that's the way he is. That's how he's designed us. It's like he doesn't want you to hold back.
True. So, and I guess if God looks after you and, he teaches you and stuff, and then you go do stuff out of a bad intention, he'd be upset. He'd be upset with you. Even if it's not, doesn't mean you have to go, swear at God, for example.
Right.
I'm not talking about that. I think God cares more about how you treat other people.
Yeah.
So if you're going in and treating other people badly, you're sort of, in a way, you're attacking God.
Yeah.
Well, you're directly attacking
You
God,
are,
really.
yeah. For another example, if you're a sort of person that the church would hate, just say you're some sort of bogan Darrow or something, and there's just scum of the earth people that they're pathetic, they're whatever. God will accept you as you are. If all that comes out of your mouth is profanity, that's okay with God. He looks at the intention.
Yeah,
whereas the church would spit on you.
Yeah, the church would look at whoever's the best dressed and has
Yep.
the nicest family and the nicest car, and that's who they'd regard
Yep.
well. Whereas someone with a really good heart who comes in and who doesn't appear good, then I think they'd treat them badly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a human thing.
Exactly, it is.
Church people would just justify it a different way.
Yep.
To themselves.
So that's what we were sort of trying to hit on today with intentions. It's like we've come through this journey of breaking down that perception that we have of God, that he's angry. He's always saying that, oh, you did this, you're going to get, this is what you're going to get. You did that, you're going to get that. It's like, no, that's not the way God is. That's the way they are.
I think the default setting for most people isn't that they just don't know who they are.
Yeah.
And they don't know why they do stuff and what their intentions
Yeah.
are. They just keep doing what they think everyone else wants them to do or
Yeah.
how it's supposed to appear. I saw, speaking about Chinese proverbs before, we were talking about how, a lot of the old Chinese proverbs actually line up with the Hebrew ones, almost exactly the same. I was reading one last night.
A lot of ancient civilizations have a lot of truth in what because they were connected to God as well. And they just had different names for him.
Yeah.
Possibly, but also possibly not. They could have been connected, like the Canaanites were obviously connected to Baal because that's who they worshipped. Yeah, but so there's an opportunity to be connected to God or evil. But yeah, so a lot of those ones could have been.
Yeah, well, I think that particular proverb talks about being the master of oneself. It goes through a bunch of steps. It's great to master other people. That's when you're at this level. It's great to do this. That's when you're at this level. I can't remember. But the final one was ultimate mastery is knowing yourself.
Yeah.
And that comes down to intentions, right? Because if you're doing things and then you have a misguided intention, or you're lying to yourself about the intention, you're telling yourself it's good but it's bad, you don't know yourself.
Yeah.
And I've always read that stuff and thought, oh, it's a bit airy-fairy, it's just something people say to sound good. But just in that moment a few seconds ago, I really realised that that's what it means. Knowing yourself means knowing what you are, why you do it, what your heart is.
Yeah.
There's another verse in the Bible that all the issues of life come out of the heart, so protect it. And that is something that I've always puzzled on as well, because it can have so much different meaning.
Yeah.
I'm still working on that one.
Well, yeah. Well,
What do you feel about that one? Protect your heart, because from it spring all the issues of life. That's a verse.
It's interesting. Yeah.
What's your take on that?
Well,
Let's put you on the spot.
No. We've been learning about heart a lot. I have recently, because I read the book Waking the Dead by John Eldridge, and he talks about heart and mind in that. And so that's what pops into my head. I believe that God connects to us through the heart. And then the way that we speak to God is through that, right? We were just talking about it before. So you connect with God through the heart. And if you have no heart, you have no God. So the saying in that book, it says, you can't be a great man if you're more mind than heart. And so what that means to me is connect with God through the heart and protect that connection with God, because the world is all about the mind. The world is all about what you do, what you say, all this sort of shit. But we also have to be in the world.
It's like me yesterday. Those people harassing my mum,
Yeah.
they ripped her off, these dodgy builders.
Yeah.
And I've let that get me really upset. And having to try and chase them for money, and then they're making up lies about me to the police, saying that I'm harassing and abusing them, which is rubbish.
Yeah, but that sort of stuff. This really emphasizes the fact that we are in the world, not of it, right? So
I should have guarded the heart yesterday. I shouldn't have let them get angry. I should have stayed with God. I should have not let them get me upset, because then that's where I'm getting an issue, right?
Yeah.
They've managed to try and make up some false narrative about me when they're the crooks. They're ripping people off. They're breaking the law. They've got a dodgy QBCC license.
They have bad
et cetera.
intentions.
But because I didn't guard my heart against letting them get me angry yesterday, they're trying to now use the law against me, despite the fact that they're criminals. And so because of that, because I didn't protect my heart from getting angry about that, I've let them draw me into a situation where they can try and hurt me, even though they're the ones who are doing the wrong.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I didn't guard my heart adequately yesterday.
Yeah.
That's a great example.
Yeah, it's so true.
And I only just got it.
Yeah, we need to. Well, the way that we connect with God is through the heart. So just protect that and that sort of means, as we're in the world, dealing with the things of the world, right?
Stay on the God train
Yeah.
tracks in your heart, because if you shift over to the non-God train tracks in your heart and you're not protecting it,
Yeah.
you're going to create some problems.
Yeah.
And it's
For yourself, it's like
it's
building
outside
hell.
forces that want to shift your heart from the God railway track to the other one.
Yeah, they want to take your heart
And
away.
yesterday they succeeded for me briefly.
Yeah.
And I was really mad, and I wanted to defend the people that they were attacking that I cared about.
Yeah, and they're just using it as a weapon against you to take a man with God away from that.
And God will destroy them.
Yeah, what is that? Another Chinese proverb we talked about today. I heard it this morning. Sit on the riverbank long enough, and your enemies' dead bodies will float by.
That's wise. I mean, God does say, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord,
Yep.
because if you want to chase vengeance yourself, all you do is create problems.
And that is
you
connecting
shift onto the other tracks and you're creating problems for yourself.
And that's guarding the heart again.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's something I've been wondering about for so long.
Yeah,
Decades.
that idea of mind and heart is extremely important, I think. It's like, I can feel it in my body now.
So protect my heart from moving away from where it sits with my Creator.
Yeah, because if we step into
I feel like I
yeah.
sit with Him all the time, like He's always with me.
Until a big thing happens and you got to react.
It's almost like God was here and I'm like, I have to go yell at some people, I'll be back.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, I've gone over here and God's like, you're creating trouble for yourself, mate.
You're building hell.
Yeah. Do it. I think it was a lesson though.
Protect your heart, guard your heart, and God cares about your intention.
So when you're feeling, like when I feel happy with God and everything's great, the birds are singing, the sky is blue, the sun is shining. When you have that feeling and you're with God, stick with it and stay with it. Because when something comes along that wants to shift you out and make you angry, make you upset, make you feel worthless, who knows what your personal situation is, but stay there with God, because if
The enemy has a different angle of attack for everyone.
He wants to. You're in a safe place. God says, "I hold you in my hand; no one can touch you." But if you jump off, then they can get you.
Yeah.
So you got to stay here, and you can't let. You got to guard your heart in that way that you stay with God
And deal with the situation with God rather than my reaction. So, like, yeah, your reaction was that. But instead of that, next time, it's just a journey that we're on. It's like, God, how do I do this? How do I move forward in this, right? It's like that's how He wants us to deal with things, because it's not going to stop happening.
No.
The more we are with Him, the more it will happen.
God has been telling me this week, He's like, there's always going to be people in this world who are trying to steal from you, who are trying to ruin things, who are nasty, who have bad intentions. But you have to manage better how you react and deal with those people.
Yeah, I always...
Because otherwise you're going to go nuts.
Yeah.
You're going to go crazy.
The way that this is what I ask God for. I want you to be my reaction instead of the way I was trained to be my reaction. Because I was trained to react with violence. That's how I was a violent person, angry. I don't want that. I want God to be my reaction. And I just tell Him what I want, and slowly but surely it happens.
And it's so much more powerful than anything you do yourself.
Absolutely, because it actually means
just sitting
something.
there with God while someone's attacking you and not reacting is powerful in itself. The demons in society in general want to attack. I would consider myself a man of God. They want to attack men of God all the time because they want to put them down.
Yep.
They don't like us in the world that they're ruining and manipulating. So,
whatever they need to do, they do it.
So this stuff is going to always happen. Someone's always going to try and oppose you. And if you don't learn how to fight properly, you're going to get yourself in trouble.
And that's what we continuously do. It's like, make my reaction you. I say it a lot. And it's like when I think of the reason I got to that is because
I need to learn that. I need to work on that.
I hurt my family so much. And it's like, because with my anger, it's like, I don't want to react this way, God. I want to react how you want me to react. Make it you. And then it slowly but surely changes. Like it's not happening.
You make a decision to change your heart. God does it.
Intentionally chase Him with what you need in your life and say it to Him all the time. Like, I want this, I need this in my life. And then slowly it happens. You don't need to keep trying to change that.
Well,
He does it.
God is a pretty generous guy. You know He'll help you. You know He'll give it to you.
And that's your intention at heart. It comes back around. It's because my intention is to be with Him. My intention is to be like Him and to react with Him. It's like, and then He gives it to you. Slowly but surely. It's a long, long journey.
Yeah.
And it's never ending. Because once you have control of one thing, or God has control of it in your life,
it's sort of
again, next thing.
snowballs, and then you find this truth, and then you get into it and you understand it, and then there's like 10 more, and you're like, oh wow.
Yeah, it just keeps going.
Yeah.
And then there'll be the next thing.
You never ever reach a plateau.
No.
I mean, you can reach a plateau, but there's
If you lean back and sit on it like a religious person does.
But if you want to keep going, there's no plateau.
I have my father, my daddy, who I who I give all my shit to, and he makes it happen. He deals with it. Protect the heart. That's the same thing. Protect the heart means go back to God with everything.
That's interesting. I really got to think about this now. Because honestly, that verse has been in my mind, troubling me for 20 years. 20 years, easily.
It's funny how it's all connected to protecting your heart, to what is your intention.
Because I've always read it and went, that's really important, but I don't understand.
Yeah. And now, after 20 years later,
or maybe we're just starting to understand it now.
yeah, I'm sure
Maybe
it's much deeper.
understanding, we'll get there. But as long as you're, another Chinese proverb I read last night is, it doesn't matter how slow you go as long as you don't stop. Because if you stop, that's when you go backwards.
And that connected to the journey with God. Don't stop. Don't sit on the Bible. Don't sit on your religion. Don't sit on your church. Keep flowing with God, not them. Yeah. All right.
All right. Yeah, all right.